Welcome back to Off the Record with Arjun Vijaykumar. This is not exactly a pretty picture, and that actually explains the kind of person he is. Not somebody content to sit in an air-conditioned cabin and call the shots there. As the son of a celebrity, you're obviously privy to so much information. Some of his exploits. His the various crimes that he has detected, the gangs, the rackets that he has busted, the kind of the law and order, the challenging situations that he was thrown into, caste clashes all over. He was part of the SPG in charge of Rajiv Gandhi's security. He was part of the security in charge of Ms. Jayalalitha when she was chief minister in her first tenure. As commissioner of police, where he in fact cleaned up the city through the series of encounters. The path-breaking changes he introduced, jungle warfare for instance in the National Police Academy, and now going in to head the CRPF at a very, very crucial juncture with all those Maoist attacks. Leadership challenge there. A lot of you have CRPF Jawans bumping off their seniors. So it's a challenging time, and he's always liked to go to an organization where the chips are down. Have you been tempted to write a book on your dad? I'll give you a title also if you want, An Officer and a Gentleman. How about that?
That's a good title, and maybe you should be the co-author there.
I should be the co-author. In fact, I asked your dad a long time back, and he said, no. He was very embarrassed, in fact. And he sort of turned down the offer. He said, no, don't write a book, don't make me a big person and all that. But the fact that he is, but not tempted to write a book on him?
Definitely. If he wants to write a book or you want a co-author, that's something you both could do.
I'll go with the son's recommendation again and see if I'm lucky this time around. But you've traveled across the country. But in terms of as a bureaucrat's son, you travel extensively, the various district postings. You've been in Delhi as well, all over the country.
Yes, we have since the early 80s. In fact, prior to the 80s, when I was much smaller, you would get transfer every few months.
How many schools have you seen?
About 7 or 8 schools. That's not too bad. It could be worse. But as a result, I think we lived in many houses, and maybe I'll write a book if I do get time at some point in the future about the various houses we have lived in India. India is a vast country, right from Delhi to Srinagar to Madurai to Dindigul or various other little towns. So it does help a person experience various cultures all around India, staying in different types of houses and meeting people. So in Australia as well, that's another experience. Yeah.
So you could write a book on it. And what are your observations about the kind of houses, the contrast that you've seen?
I think basically, if you do stick to the climate, design to the climate, you'll get it right. And that's what they've done, whether it's the courtyards or whether it's the thick walls of insulation, the roofing. Srinagar, for example, the heavy snows.
He was also in, did you also go to Jammu? He was IGBSF, right?
He was in Srinagar, and we used to visit him every month.
But you didn't really get transferred there, you didn't move from school?
No, we lived in Delhi.
You must have been in what, college or school?
We were in college at that time. Okay. Yeah. So we lived in Delhi and we would visit him once a month. So Kashmir is a very beautiful place.
You have the IPS Officers Association. I know you have the IPS Officers Wives Association, the IAS Officers Wives Association. Do you have an IPS Officers Children's Association?
Not really.
Hasn't come.
Yeah, we do meet other sons and children at weddings and other functions. Yes.
But that's about it. There's no sort of organization that you wanted to. I know, like for instance, the IPS Officers Wives Association, they do a lot of social work.
They do.
Also caring for, in talking about the living conditions of constables, for instance, all that. There's no plan to have that.
No, they don't. Yeah.
Okay. Tell us about, in terms of housing, affordable housing in India. Is that an oxymoron?
If you look at today, look at the cost of bricks. I'm lucky that I've used most of the bricks. I don't need any more bricks. It's about 19,000 for a truckload of bricks. Cost is going very high to construct something. The only way I could maybe look at affordable housing if I would look at prefab technology. And that's what they do in many Western countries. In Australia, we used to precast panels were made in the factory. You'd spend 2-3 months designing it in the office, and then you give your orders to make it.
How much would that cut down the construction cost?
I think you could look at 30-40% easily. I don't have figures at this stage, but that's something.
So in terms of, let's say in an area like this in Chennai, if you were to construct an affordable home, what would affordable mean? How much?
For an average person.
For a family of 4?
Yes. If he's on a salary of 30,000-40,000, I think Yeah, I think we're looking at anywhere between 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs as an affordable home.
But that's impossible right
It is
now.
impossible. It's the land costs which have shot up. And
It's definitely 4 times that now, whatever is
is.
available.
It
Or
is.
at least what? At least thrice that. 50 to 60 lakh is anything beyond that. In fact, there are ads also on TV which say, you know, for 55, I've got 55 lakh. What will I get in Post Garden? I'll get a bathtub. Or I'll get a space the size of a kennel.
which is true.
Which is a bit of exaggeration, but when in a sense, yes, it reflects the big hollow slogan, quite like the hollow blocks, hollow slogan that the term affordable housing has come to acquire, the meaning.
Yes, I mean to really do affordable housing, we need something major to be done by major players to make it. I mean, from Japan, for example, they prefabricate the whole structures and fit these apartments in to blocks. Even in Dubai, there are some projects. So, I mean, if you need to think on those lines to reduce costs, and using technology, we can get there.
Okay.
And keeping climate in mind.
Okay. After the tsunami, and in fact even earlier also, many say that in fact studies have shown that Chennai's seismic zones have been altered now. Gone are the days when you could say Chennai is free of earthquakes, so that's like a one-off thing. But now that things have changed, so are you also in all your projects making earthquake-resistant homes? Is this earthquake-resistant?
It is. I can. We went about 10, 12 feet into the ground to show.
Okay.
I can show you pictures of the footings later.
Okay.
Foundation. We have buildings nearby who just went in about 3 feet, 4 feet. So we did get it designed to take a earthquake. Yes.
All right. Given, I know not everyone believes in reincarnation, given a second innings in life, see, because I'm someone who wrote the civil services exam in 95 and 96, I was hell-bent to don the IPS uniform, but somehow destiny willed otherwise, and I didn't want to chase a mirage, and then I got into Ndtv in 1998. But for me personally, given a second innings in life, I may just want to write the civil services again and get into the police uniform. What about you?
That's it. I'd like to be reborn as an architect
All right.
because I like what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm very passionate about my work, and I'm helping my clients achieve what they want, keeping their purse and pockets in mind. So that'll be my reincarnation, yeah.
All right. So your feet firmly planted on the ground, very clear about what you want to do in life. That's great. But thank you so much, Arjun, for talking to. It's not always that you really get to, in fact, showcase the life and work of bureaucrats, families and their children, and I'm glad that you actually took the time off. I know I had to coax you a lot to do this interview. Thank you very much for sparing your time.